So how good is this new Ariana Grande album? What about the new Ledisi album? Or what about the new Ghostfunk Orchestra album? Keep watching to find out. Coffee and Beats is back, season 7. Your musical barista is here. Let's go. Welcome back.
And it's good to be back.
I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent, and we back with season 7 of Coffee and Beats. I just want to thank all of you guys for supporting Coffee and Beats the best way you can. I know people are busy, got things to do, but you guys stop and give me 10 minutes of your time to give you the albums that you need to hear, and I appreciate the fact that you stopped in your tracks and listened to some of these episodes. Maybe not all of them, but I appreciate all of the support. And I also want to put out a reminder. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. It helps with the algorithm and it really helps push the content out so that everyone can get a hold of it. I get a lot of people coming up to me saying, man, I didn't know you had a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, for about 3 years now. So I just wanted to put that out there. But before I get into the albums, I just want to recommend some coffee, y'all. Yeah, it's been a couple of episodes and a lot of people have been complaining, hey Rod, you haven't been featuring any new coffee flavors or anything like that. So let's get right into it. Lately, I've been messing with the grounds. Here, I just got a basic great value French vanilla, but here's what I'm saying. This is a medium roast. Coffee does not have to be complicated. All you have to do is get you a simple medium roast, mix it in with some creamer that you like, and just go from there. I think that you will enjoy it. If you're a little disappointed about my recommendation, that's fine. I will have more coffee recommendations in future episodes coming up because I have been tapping into a lot of different flavors. It just so happens this week I got great value. So that's all I can show you guys. So
just y'all have to deal with that.
Enough of me rambling. Let's get on with the show. Let's start off with these albums. And we're going to kick things off with one of my favorite bands, Ghostfunk Orchestra, A Trip to the Moon. This is their 5th studio album, which features 15 songs, rounding off at around 43 minutes. This is a follow-up to one of their best albums, in my opinion, in their collection, A New Kind of Love. I'll be remiss if I didn't shout out Seth Applebaum for promoting my page, actually, after I originally reviewed A New Kind of Love. I appreciate the love that you showed for my review for that particular project, and I thank you for getting Coffee and Beats out there to your algorithm. And so I really appreciate that. So if you're listening, I'm just wanted to mention that. But this is a follow-up to that album, and A Trip to the Moon is just as good, if not better, than A New Kind of Love. I mean, Seth, my brother, you did it again. This album takes us down a more vintage path with very funky late 60s and early 70s vibes. The storytelling in this music plays like a movie. I mean, you hear anxiousness in the vocal passages as you feel the pain, the joy, the suspense of every grandiose vocal that is coming from each singer on each and every song. Shout out to Romy Honig, if I'm saying your name right. Her voice, again, I really enjoyed her very passionate vocals on the song Again, which her vocals just jumps off the page with a very heartwarming hook. And it's just so underrated. Eyes of Love makes me feel like I'm walking down the street with a trench coat on, ready to fight crime in the 70s. Such an awesome opener. And then with so many projects that I have to review later on in this show, I don't have time to break down each and every song. Go ahead and listen to this instant classic again. Ghostfunk Orchestra, you did it. 10 out of 10 for me. First 10 out of 10 of the year. Yes, I'm starting off season 7 with a 10, and that is Ghostfunk Orchestra. Check them out if you haven't done so already. No skips. Up next, we got Ledisi, and she's back with her 10th studio album, which features 13 songs, clocking in at around 48 minutes. And Ledisi is back like she never left. I mean, giving us one dynamic song after another with such a buttery smooth effort. If you're watching this, Ledisi, I apologize in advance, but this woman is 51 years old, ladies and gentlemen. She still sounds amazing. Her vocals on this album was so good. Almost threw my phone at my own stereo in the process on some of those notes she was hitting on some of those songs. I mean, Good Life is easily Ledisi's best album since Pieces of Me. Shout out to one of the greatest voices in soul music for giving us such an amazing project. This one gets a healthy 9 out of 10 for me. Up next, we got Brittany Howard from the Alabama Shakes with her second studio album, What Now? She announced it. This is the second one after the Alabama Shakes just said, you know what, we're going on a hiatus like 5-6 years ago, and here she is. She's continuing her solo career and is doing a very good job at it. This album features 12 songs, clocking in at around 38 minutes. And this album, it has the spunk, it has attitude, it's dynamic in production, it's got catchy hooks, hypnotic vocals. Brittany Howard outdid herself on this one. If you are into psychedelic soul, this one is for you. Brittany is more than just an instrumentalist. She's an awesome vocalist, an amazing songwriter. You get it all through this particular project, and it's definitely an early contender. I give this one a 8.5 out of 10. Up next, we got Erika the Carier with her third studio album, Still. Now, I think it was around season 1 or season 2 of Coffee and Beats. Go ahead and backtrack and look up those episodes. But I did review her second album, Sensational. I thought it was one of my favorite projects of that particular year, and here she is back with another project. The album will be her first to collaborate with other artists. Her first 2 albums, it was just her by herself, and now They Hate Change, Shy Girl, and Blood Orange have joined her in the making of this particular project. Now, Erika stated that she was expressing cold feet when producing this album. She mentioned, she quote here, when you start making music, you have this feeling of, oh, this is great and it's fresh. And then after a while, you get critical about everything. So I'm in that stage. And this album features 14 songs, clocking in at around 43 minutes. And I must say, Erika does take a different approach with this effort, going with a more Pink Pantherist route of things, and instead of her usual soulful sound. And although there are a few highlights on this album, I did walk away feeling like Erika came up a little bit short on this project with a lot of filler tracks and pretty much wallpaper background music. And I'm not saying that as a diss. I love background music myself. I love playing albums in the background. I do like the majority of this project, but it just did not give me the same type of feel as her previous efforts. And maybe because she went a totally different direction than I expected her to, and it kind of caught me off guard. There are some noteworthy tracks that you can add to your playlist. They'll be in the description box down below. But Erika, never doubt yourself. Put your music out there. Always believe in yourself if you're listening. Listen, this is not a bad project by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, I do have my constructive criticism, but at the same time, I do appreciate your efforts. I do appreciate a lot of these songs on this particular album, and I look forward to hearing more of your projects. You're a very talented artist, and I think you need to continue to keep challenging yourself, keep pushing yourself, and eventually you're gonna get that one album that you're gonna say, yeah, you know what, that's my baby. Up next, we got MGMT with their latest installment, Loss of Life, and this is their 5th studio album by the American rock band. I have to say, MGMT, they are an enigma. I think one of the things about MGMT that I totally appreciate about them is they never try to repeat history. Their very first album, which featured a lot of their hit songs like Time to Pretend, Electric Feel, and Kids, it was one of those projects that really put MGMT on the map. But then after that, they went the De La Soul route. They said, we might blow up, but we won't go pop, and came out with their second album, Congratulations, which, even though it got praise from critics, casual fans did not take too well to the album because of the vast turn of events that they took. And basically, they set the tone for the rest of their career with Congratulations. I wasn't disappointed with Congratulations when it came out, but again, if I had to choose a MGMT project that connected with me the most, it would probably be their previous project, Little Dark Age. I thought it was one of the best albums of the 2018 season. I thought it was excellent, great production. It was very upbeat. Back to the album that we're talking about here, Loss of Life. I really wanted to like this project. It's getting pretty awesome reviews from critics, but I have to say, I was beyond underwhelmed with this project. It was slow, it was drab. Some of the pockets of this album was very boring. Although I will say, sonically, MGMT has not missed a beat. The production on here is pretty good, it's pretty solid in some pockets, but some of the uninspiring choruses and the vocals left me a little disappointed. Hopefully their next project will hit me, but this one fell a little flat, and I would say out of all their releases, this might be my least favorite out of the bunch. Not impressed out of 10 for me. Hopefully I will like their next project. MGMT, still a fan, haven't lost me, just won't be going back to this. Up next, we got Norah Jones with Visions. This is her 9th studio album by the American singer-songwriter, and this album features 12 songs, clocking in at around 45 minutes. It's always nice to get a Norah Jones project. It seems like every time she drops a project, it just makes you feel so good. She always makes that feel-good music, and this is the same instance that you get. Now here she goes a more psychedelic route, more garage rock type of route with this one, and I like it. I dig it. Her voice, her vocals, they really flow in harmony with a lot of the instrumentals on this project. The production is excellent. The vocals are solid. It's very entertaining. It's very engaging. The hooks are very good on this one. She said she just randomly came up with the idea for this project in the middle of sleep, waking up from a heavy sleep one night, and she just said, you know what, I got ideas, let's go ahead and make this project. And this is what she gave us. You will walk away feeling very satisfied with this project. Nonetheless, I give this one an 8 out of 10. Up next, we got Arrested Development with their 13th studio album, Bullets in the Chamber. This is a huge release from this legendary hip-hop band, and definitely one of my own personal favorite hip-hop groups, and this is a very personal favorite album of mine. I thought it was a really good project. This album featured a wide variety of guests such as Chuck D, Cannabis, Diane King, female rapper Cy Rock, and Razzcast, just to name a few. But I will be remiss if I didn't get this out there. While listening to this album, only one thing comes to mind.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back.
And there you have it. 7 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed this one. Good work, Arrested Development. You put out a hip-hop project out there that's worth listening to and worth coming back to. Up next, we got Sarah Jarosz, if I'm saying that right, with her 7th studio album, Polaroid Lover. And this is the 7th studio album. This album features 11 tracks, rounding off at about 43 minutes. This is a country/bluegrass album, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the first country album that I have reviewed.
I know it took me 7 seasons, but here I am.
Yep, I got sucked into this one. Sarah, graceful album to listen to with great production, smooth harmonies throughout. It is very bright in some pockets, very resilient in others, and Sarah gives us uplifting effort. And check it out for yourself. If you're a big country / bluegrass fan, I think you will enjoy this one. 8 out of 10 for me. Sarah, keep up the good work, and I look forward to hearing more from you in the future. And last but not least, the moment you all been waiting for. Yes, Ariana Grande with her 7th studio album, Eternal Sunshine, inspired by the 2004 romantic comedy Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind starring Jim Carrey. Now, she has related that Jim Carrey is one of her favorite actors, comedians too as well. But Eternal Sunshine is a pop / R&B album with dance music that's influenced kind of similar house music vibes to Beyonce's Renaissance album. Now, this album features 13 tracks rounding off at about 35 minutes, along with a deluxe version with 4 additional tracks, including the Yes and remix with Mariah Carey. Now, I must say, upon first listen, this project really didn't grab me like Thank You Next or her other album before that, Sweetener. What we do get from Ariana is a more vulnerable lyricism, less theatrics, and a lot more emotion. And many of the beats on this particular album are pretty inconsistent with the tone of her project. It's almost like she tried to make a house music album mixed in with lyrics that you would hear in a slow, sad love song, which to me makes it hard for me to really relate or connect with this album. I have warmed up to the project since my initial reaction. I just don't see myself coming back to this one. 6.75 out of 10 for me. Hopefully on the next project we get more cohesiveness with Ariana Grande's next work. But if you're watching, I love the album cover. 10 out of 10 for me. I love the creativity of this album cover. I thought it was pretty good, but just wish the album met up to the same expectations that the album cover brought. And that will do it for this edition of Coffee and Beats. I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. Be on the lookout. I have a lot of special guests coming up later on in episodes in the future. So season 7 is alive and kicking. I got another B-side episode coming up right after this one, where I'm going to be touching on a lot of new instrumental projects that have just dropped that I think you need to check out. So stay tuned for that. But until then, I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to music, stay grounded for life. I will see you on the next one. Peace.